That's the date. That's the time. And let me just get in there. So even though 2 people have subscribed, this thing does not want to change for some reason. I don't know what I did to it. So the other day it said that there was 1 out of 44, but yet on the Twitch page it says that there's 42 to go or something like that. I was like, oh, I got another subscriber. Yay. No, I'm actually really excited about it. I'm just really tired. You know how like when you drink some coffee and it has sugar in it and then you start to crash? That's where I am right now. I'm crashing. Slowly, but it's fun. Yeah, I do have that down. I have no idea what this means. Lenart? Lenart equals new Lenart. I don't know. Anyways. So, I watched something that made me so angry. I went outside and I watched the rain for like about an hour, well, a little over an hour, which was fantastic. There were birds, there were squirrels. It was so calming. I was probably out there for 2 hours, who knows? Um, Maybe 2.5. I'm not sure. It was like 4 something whenever I went out there, and then it was like 5:45 when I had to come back in because I was like, oh, it's that time already. All right, let me just let me get back in. Instead of that, let me just grab this and take it back with me. Ah. All right. I definitely, definitely need to get some more wood. Where am I at? Okay. Oh, that worked. Nice. I'm gonna need to make some gold track. I'm gonna need to make some more red torches, some more. What the hell are those things called? Gold track, regular track, and red torches. So that I can continue this. Did I get my boat? I did. Okie dokie, let's see. What is there to talk about? I got to see a female cardinal, which are a nice, lovely tannish color with that nice, prominent reddish orange beak with the little hood over it, the black hood. It's pretty nice. I love I love looking at the birds. I wouldn't say I'm a bird watcher, but I guess I'm a, bird casual observer. So, I don't know. I don't try to get into people's personal space too much, you know? Just like as voyeurism goes, I am like a backseat, like way far in the backseat, like maybe perhaps occasional glancer in that category. It's like, oh, something's happening. Oh, is it bad or is it good? Oh, something good happened. Good job! Yay! Something bad. Oh, flip. All right, how bad is it? Let's run. Well, I don't know if it'd be faster if I. Oh, there it is. It's like I was like waiting for the track to come, but then I was like, I totally was just looking at the other side of that while I was jumping forward. I was like, how many times did I jump while I was looking at the track? I was like, okay, now where did I lose track of the track? Like, where did I stop with the iron track? Hmm. Because I went a good ways without even laying a single track. I don't know, should I go after that type of wood, or should I go after the wood that's over there? There were a lot of trees over there. Hmm, a lot of trees right there. Well, a few trees at least. Hmm. Let me fix this really quick. Of course. Because I have no idea why this would be down. It's like, dude. It's not like I'm like putting my finger in it and like scraping it out. Why? It's like, what the hell is this? I don't know. I get a little weird whenever something's not the way I leave it. It's not like conspiracy theories that like happen. It's just like, how does a thing of chapstick kind of indent itself? It's like something scraped the first layer off of it. I'm like, what? Is like someone thinking I have cooties or something? Use this? I don't know. It's like I don't really leave anything on it. It's like, damn, how offensive. Scraping the top of my flippin' chapstick like I have some sort of cooties. I mean, it does worry me that my chapstick was a little bit less than it should have been. But yet I put it on because I smelled it and it still smelled like chapstick. Joking. And then, I'm sorry, I couldn't resist that one. Give me a half hour. If I'm still kicking, we're good. But, yeah. Like, I think the slowest, poison takes a half hour to go. So, seeing how it is on one of these surfaces that are really sensitive to poisons, you know, we're checking it. Still smells nice. It's cherry flavored, I guess. All right, now Let's not be like an axe murderer. Let's just be a beef enthusiast. Beef, beef. Who's got the beef? I got the beef. No. I've had caffeine today. And sugar. Residuals. Oh, yes, I need this. I totally need this. Alright, so, give me this. Throw that down. Oh, oh, what a cute kitty. And that's still doing its thing like that? I remembered the switch. Alright, so this has been in there for days. It's like, why is this gold taking forever? It needs to be watched, doesn't it? It's just not wanting to do anything unless it is watched. There are some weird people out there. Yes, there's a story behind that. So, apparently there's some workers out there who actually not do a lick of work unless they are being watched, because they're all about that free money, clocking in and just getting paid to walk around and meander and do nothing at all. I've met quite a few of those types of people. I'm just like, are you kidding me? It's like, I was like, you're getting paid. They're like, I was like, well, you know, work smart, not hard. I was like, you're not working at all. I was like, what the hell's wrong with you? I was like, get fired. Don't work, get fired. I mean, like, dude. Wait. Dude. Alright, what you got? Pumpkin seeds, red marshmallows. Since I was younger, I've always called mushrooms marshmallows. And when I'm not, like, actually trying to correct it, it will just come up like that. And yes, I've called marshmallows mushrooms before. So, for some reason, I swap them. I don't know. But ever since I was younger, I used to call mushrooms marshmallows and marshmallows mushrooms. Wait a minute. Was it? Yeah, I was going this way. Wow, that's a lot. Oh, I thought I had more trees over here. I was like, I just grab some over here. Oh, that's quite the drop. I guess it wasn't that much of a drop, unless they're gonna delay hit me. Of course. 2 of them, no problem. Why did you get in the mix? Ah. that one's too big. I'll come back and plant more trees. This will be a beautiful forest. When there aren't things like actually attacking me or trying to take me out. Alright, so. Holy flip. I didn't even see that, like, mini Steve on them. Freaked me out just a bit. Oh, wow, that's like 2 beehives right next to each other. It's unbelievable. Ba-dum-bum. Oh, I need to play with this. Give me a second. Holy flip. Where did they go? I mean, where did they come from? Wait, can I not pick that up? Oh, you punk. I think I might have a little bit of tree now. Yeah, I'm good. I'm really good with that. Alright, let's try to get to this area. I was going to make some redstone stuff, but I guess not. Because I completely just went after trees, and I'm already over here, so I might as well just, you know, make the regular track and then come back. You know, at least it's doing something. It's faster this way. It's a little glitchy, huh? Oh, this is so boring. Sorry, anyways. I want my track to go faster. Or at least make some vroom sounds. Motorized track, like motorized minecart. Work on it. So went shopping today. Okay. Yeah, for like house stuff and whatnot. And um, when the cart was empty, I had to return it to the little car. I don't know what the corral, maybe? I don't know what the hell they call that thing. The house where you put all the carts. I don't know. But anyways, I had made the vroom sound while I was pushing the cart back, and this male who was for some reason paying attention to me at the time started kind of laughing about it, and I started laughing too, and the person I was with at the time was just like, and I was like, I just had to do the vroom sound with it. I just had to. I mean, I do the vroom sound with the what is that called? Like pushing the trash cans to the curb too. You got to make it more fun. You know, it's a necessity. There is just have to. And without making it more fun, you know what else are you gonna do? Just drably, sadly put it up to the curb. I think not. So I make the sound effects because everything's better with sound effects. And this male had like kind of chuckled at me, and I had mentioned to the person, I was like, I had to make the rum sound. And they're just like, I'm just like, what? And I was like, at least he chuckled. I got a little bit of joy out of it, you know? But yeah. Oh damn, no. Alright, so I'm gonna throw that down, throw this down, throw that down. Oh no, what happened? Oh, I'm out of iron. No. So, I'm sure I have some iron somewhere else. Not here. No redstone either. Flip. I was hoping I might have stashed some redstone thinking it was worthless and just kept it there. I've done that a few times. Like, why do I have this on me? I was like, I have stacks of it at home. I'm never gonna use. I eventually found a thing to use it with. It's like, okay. Oops. I feel stupid for leveling up my characters with iron. I should have just, should have kept it all. No. No. It was worth it. They've progressed the village so much. I shouldn't be ashamed that I progressed them with iron and got all that moolah to progress everyone else. It was totally worth it. Oh, while this is happening, let me just, I'm going for more iron. Because I have a few stacks in, I believe in the home base flipping thing. Should be enough torches for now. In the home base What the hell is that called? It's the last chest. I named it something like overflow chest. So it's like when you have an abundance of it and it's like a full stack, it's usually called overflow. Why is this stopped? Because it's saving? Wow. It's like you just save while it's going. Make it faster too. I only want to see a blur of colors when I'm going through. Hyper speed! Go, go, go! Could you imagine that? Putting like a rocket pack on the damn back of it, and all you see is just green and blue and what could be classified as sky. And then like nothing else. You're just like, boom, there. And it's like, wait, I wanted to get off at this point. You have to actually put like activator or deactivator switches in certain places to like actually stop it from hyperspeed. That'd be great. I don't know why I'm so impatient with this. It's a lovely track, but I don't know. I'm really gung-ho on like flipping doing this, like completing it very quickly. Like as quickly as I can, because I am so close to the middle of it, and I think it's gonna go even faster than what it has been. But I know I have to go over another middle, almost to the end of a map, just to get to the place I need to get. But I think it's the excitement of actually getting it complete that's really striving my my impatience. Like I think I can do this, and then it's like it keeps slowing on me, and I keep getting more impatient. I'm like hyper speed. Like it's so slow, and it's getting slower. Yeah, I probably deserve that. Look at this crawl. It's crawling. Ah. The bounce was fun though. Alright, so main mission. Get iron, get redstone, make as much of the gold stuff as I possibly can. That guy's still in the village? Alright, so there's no redstone in here, but I will take these diamonds because I'm going to move it over to the other thing. I will leave the coal here just in case I need it. Trying to see if there's anything else I need to pull out. Nope. Because this is special wood, I needed other wood. I have plans for this. I gotta make a jungle. Like a jungle village somewhere. I have plans for it, okay? I don't want to have to keep cutting down trees. This was when I was trying to get the jungle trees, the little saplings from it, so I cut down a crap load of jungle trees in a jungle biome. And yes, I did take, I took all of those jungle trees back with me. They are over there in the jungle that I made. What do you need? There is nothing that you're selling that I actually need. Thank you, sir, but no. What are they? What are you doing with your llama? This is a town pond here, sir. This is not a bathing area. Sorry. Anyways, I don't know why it's doing that. It's like this is my up and down thing, and this is all I was doing and hitting the jump. Oh, acknowledgement of Glitchmeister. Hi, how are you? How's it going? If you haven't like come to terms yet, I am giggly, very giggly today. I blame caffeine. Not only do I blame caffeine, but I also blame sugar. Dastardly folks. They got the giggles on me. The nerve of those two. Alright. So, I'm not stealing the, what is that called? I can't remember what it's called. The redstone from this one. I'm gonna take it from my other area. But I am gonna put this down. I do need to feed this. Where's the butcher? What happened to the butcher? Is the butcher okay? Oh, okay. Sup? You had business with the... Oh, none of my business. Alright, none of my business. I got some berries. Let me know when you need some more. Some maintenance. Yeah, why is everybody wanting to hide in these things? It's like, yeah, it's about time you did some maintenance in this town. It's like, are you supposed to be the mayor? Or the, what is that called? Public Works, maybe? Like, Oh, that reminds me that there is some sort of strike going on. You probably already heard about it. I mean, I don't think I need to really bring it up if people have been hearing about it and whatnot. It's just, you know, France is having some sort of issues with being able to pay their trash people. You know, the people who collect the trash, not like trashy people. I wasn't calling. Sorry, that sounded really bad. So I wasn't calling people their people trash. I was calling the people who collect the trash. I guess it would be a public works kind of thing going on. But anyways, their trash collectors have gone on strike because they have cut funding for certain things. And before people start throwing in the comments that like, oh, you know, Simpsons had, you know, talked about this and all this good stuff. Yeah, they have. But that was because Homer did overspend the budget on it and had them sing and dance for the trash, which was weird. Like, really weird. Alright, so... I'm trying to see if there's anything else I need to take out of here. Oh, I do need to throw that down, though. Whoa, overflow with that. Bam. Oh, my kitties are gonna be upset. I gave them salmon last time. Alright. Oh, yep, there they go. They hear I'm down here. Whoops. I wanted to put that on the bar and I accidentally put it back in. That's what happens when you rush. Alright, what's I got? I got that. I got that. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna make these. Okay, that's as many as I can make of that. Okay, I can put this in here. Another stack. Partial stack. Oh, I ran out of iron. And then I could put these down. Alright, and this down. We'll see how far that takes me. And just thought I had glass here. Alright. Where's my minecart? I'm pretty sure I picked up my minecart. Did I set it down somewhere? By accident, maybe? What other chests have I been in? Alright. Now I'm making sure that I haven't dropped anything else. I'm going a little... Whew. Anyways. Going a little suspicious here because I'm like, alright, first my chapstick, and now I'm missing things out of my inventory that I super need, like this minecart. Oh, nice. I mean, you know, 10 is good for right here. Alright, oh, I need this, that. Put this up here. I forgot to make the redstone torches. Isn't that dandy? Alright, well at least I didn't go all the way back there. That would have been embarrassing, right? Let's make sure that we didn't leave any redstone down here. Whee! No redstone. Okay then, that was a wasted trip. Hmm. 'Cause might have some redstone in there. I want to make sure that I'm not taking all of my redstone. I know I have it in some other chests. Like, I have some in the fancy village. I might have some in here, but I might also have some more iron in here, which then would also help. Oh, that's horrible. I do not have any iron in here. Some rabbit, though. Why? So. It was worth a shot. Oh. Are you watching them sleep? Did I name you? I did not. Why are you watching them sleep? You better get down before they see you. They're like, no. They're actually watching them sleep. There's nobody in here. Where did everybody go? Did they really switch houses? Did you creep them out that much? Where did they go? Did all of my villagers go crazy and just jump off or something? What's going on? Okay, there's 3 right there. Okay, well, yeah, everybody's here. But there were supposed to be 2 in there. That is concerning, honestly. What can you do? I'm gonna take these. I'm gonna take these. Ah, flip, I could have... Alright, what are you selling? Alright, I kinda don't want to sell this to him because then, like, the stuff, the emerald will just be there. Hold on, let me put something down really quick. Wait, where did you... Okay. That's 20... My pickaxe needs to be fed, I'm sorry. Alright, so that will be a little less supplies for that, but just a little less. Wait, there is a smoker here. There's like a butcher here, right? Because I have a smoker here. Or should we? Nobody decided to be a butcher? Oh, what a pretty horse. Sorry, I thought that was an iron golem over there. I was like, what the hell is he doing? It's like that little patch of diorite. I was like, what is a... what is an iron golem doing over there? I was like, oh my gosh, what the hell? I will take that. I'm peeking on underneath the thing to see if there's any jungle zombies popping. Seeing how it meets some of the requirements, but no, there's just some sheep and creepers down there. And skeletons. Don't tell any of the bad guys how to get up there, okay? That's a secret between us two, alright? Well, us couple, like, whoever is watching. I mean, I'm gonna go grab the redstone from this fancy village. Because there's definitely not enough in the, what is that thing called? In the home base. Oh, definitely not in there. 8. Flip. Alright, so, where else did I have it? In the desert. The desert snow village, I believe. Make sure that there aren't any more mats I'm missing up here. Okay. Yay! Sheepies are definitely enjoying their extension. They're all crowding the door. Do we have any room? Oh yeah, we definitely have room. It's like I might want to do some maintenance on this too, just a smidge. Just a smidge. I did miss one. I need to take this off. Alright. Oh, look at them. It's like hiding behind the house, looking at the fishies out there. Not in there. I could take some of that. Throw this down. Throw that down. Grab some more of this. redstone. Definitely have enough right there. That's cool. A little bit of iron. Alright, I need to find the butcher. Looking for everyone with... There you are. A white apron. Nice to see you're doing well. Thank you. What you I don't want to say I don't have coal, because I do. I just really, really need it for this thing. Because I need to make torches in order to make the redstone thing, and yeah, it's just gonna get really crazy. I think I have that in here. Good. And then I get that redstone. Need to make at least 36. Okay, that makes sense. I can make a 9, huh? Oh, because I have that. Alright. Understood. Need more sticks. I get to 36. Here we go. Whee! Alright. So, got that going. Got this going. And I'll swap that over with this. We're good. We're definitely super good. Grab the basalt. Okay. People are having problems getting to their beds. My bed. I don't want the race to attack me while I'm running by. I guess it's one of those selfish things, you know. Everybody was just having a night party. What do you want me to do? Not take their bed? It's too much trouble. I saw a comfy bed. I was like, I need somewhere to lie my head. And then I went and I slept. For like a second. Like, legit. And then you saw what happened. Daylight came and nobody woke me up out of the bed. So it's like, okay, alright. So, maybe it was meant to be. It was destined. I'm sorry. Do you know how many times I hear some, like, people say that things are destined, you know, like, oh, this is foretold, this is destined, this has to happen and everything. I'm like, alright, I understand prophecies and whatnot. And then there are things that people have foresaw, like premonitions and stuff. I believe the premonitions over someone saying like, oh, this is destined to happen, this was destiny. It's like, no, this is you just trying to do some psychological voodoo on somebody in order for them to stay in a situation that they don't want to stay in. But anyways, moving on. But like when somebody says, oh, this is going to happen around this time and whatnot, if you don't do this, it's a type of prophecy. Like, okay, so if you do not check your fire extinguishers every so often, to make sure that the gauge is proper and that it is not going to malfunction on you in case of a fire, guess what's going to happen? All right, this is a legit prophecy. You know what's going to happen? The fire is going to win. So, yeah, I believe in prophecies. But someone saying that something is destined because it has just randomized happened or whatnot, people foretelling things and then it actually happening, like, eventually, there's a high probability of that happening. Unless they've been astral projecting into the future to actually, like, gauge what is happening, I'm not gonna put too much weight on it, because even though they saw it in the future, things can change. The future is never set in stone. So people saying that it's going to that there's going to be a fire and everybody does everything to make sure that there's, well, yeah, we're staying with the fires because, like, I have a story to talk about where I saw a fire truck today and it was in but anyway, I'll get back to that. So there was this okay, so if somebody prophesizes and everything that this great fire is going to happen in London, like around this time, okay, and then people actually take necessary precautions to keep this grand fire from happening, and because people keep foretelling of it, and like, just shut up, we have fireproof this and blah, 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 and then they make things more sturdy, less able to be, more fire retardant, and they build with materials that are less likely to catch fire, and this prophecy never happens because someone had foretold a great fire and people just were like, no, we have to, like, maybe we should have better precautions, maybe we should do this, or because it could go either way. People could actually make the fire happen because they're just like, oh no, you're just a stupid loon, let's not, like, even bother trying to do any precautions. And then other people could go the proper way of, like, making things better for their environment by trying to keep fires from happening, and that'd be the loss, the lack of loss of life and whatnot, and it'd be beneficial to the all in that area. But yeah, so by these people prophesizing certain things like these catastrophes and stuff, and if they can be averted, it's a good thing, maybe to try just a little bit, maybe. I mean, what could it hurt, But it's not like the future's set in stone. And if somebody's already peeked about it, that means that there's no randomized thing about it, so that it could be set in stone. But if it is set in stone, it's going to happen eventually. But it could just be a little bit of a fire. Like, who knows? Maybe a person's newsstand happened, and that was the Great Fire. Ended up just being a little fire around somebody's newsstand because somebody, flicked a damn cigarette or dropped a cigar in a trash can next to a newsstand, and then there was a fire. And, like, the the person running the newsstand got a little like singe on his like hands trying to put out the fire, and had a little bit of a loss. But you know, hey, it's still, the fire still happened. Just on a smaller scale, just itty bitty, you know, just but yeah, there's little workarounds here and there. So the Great Fire did happen, but the only one complaining about it now is a newsstand. And it wasn't a loss of life; it was possibly a lot of hairs on this person's hand. I mean, dude, a little singe, he'd heal from it real quick, you know. And then he'd have a story to sit there and talk about still, you know. Some complaints. It's like, mother effing smokers, I hate them. They wrecked my newsstand and blah, blah, blah. It's like there should be more ashtrays available for these dang people, or they should just quit, blah, 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 kind of thing. Alright, so now I got... Okay, that's the 49 one right there. Alright, so we should head over to this area. Oh, wow, we got a long way to trek. Ugh, I'm gonna need to go farming for some iron. It's gonna take forever. Forever. Just to get the materials. I'm still waiting for my my stuff to come in the mail. I'm excited about it because I like getting mail. Yeah. So I have two things coming in the mail for me. Two cards. One's an ID card and the other is my bank card. So I'm waiting for that. And if you're in the neighborhood watching, don't steal my stuff, dude. It's like, I don't think you look like me, so I don't think you're gonna pull it off. Not with your complexion. Yeah, some people are more tan than me, so whatever. Oh damn, let me just I forgot I could put the redstone down and the... I should possibly do that before I get there. Flip, flip, frack. I went a good distance too. Alright, I think I'm gonna be there within another like 5 minutes, 6 minutes. Let's check the time. Ah, this is taking forever. About to jump in the water. Okay, that is the waterway, I believe. No, it's the next one. Flip. Okay. So, that's where I left off with those tracks, but I didn't get these ones any red. Dang, I'm gonna be off just a bit. It's a bit upsetting. Okay, so this one and that one. Oh, I didn't get that one either. I'm gonna have to grab some redstone too from other areas. Farm for it. So, I don't like when people try to throw their weight around. I don't know what, you know, if you've ever like noticed certain people who do like to do that. especially if they're doing it just out of spite. Like, they know that you've been told not to. Anyways, so they know that you're supposed to be doing a certain thing, and yet they still go about trying to make their presence known in certain places, and it just gets a little, weird. Nicely said, weird. So it's like, alright, well, I'm doing what I should be doing. So, I do have to look up how to make YouTube shorts or whatever. I don't know if I have the capability of doing that. Whoopsies. But I'm supposed to be doing that after this. Did that fall down or did I get it? I'm gonna give it a second. I don't see it glowing. Alright, well, let's just continue on. Whoop. That was one. Alright. Did we have to put that up? No, we're good. Alright, so everyone that's on this side, I'll put that up. Ah! For flip's sake. Alright, well, I was going to continue on with that, but then I noticed that it wasn't the best topic to be saying. And, anyways. It's not polite what certain people do to try to intimidate you. I mean, it's really not. And you're strictly being told not to even acknowledge certain certain things or whatever, and yet they want to sit there and be acknowledged, and it's like, well, hey Coco, love you. You hear Coco bubbling in the back? But anyways, I tried stopping, but it's like, okay, whatevs. I was questioned as to why I stop when certain people walk into rooms, and it's because they react to what I'm saying, and I'm not supposed to have those certain people reacting to what I'm saying while I'm on stream. And I'm like, well, I didn't engage, so I don't know why this is my problem. And it's like, okay, alright. Well, that was fun. Did you hear the emergency broadcast system doing its little doot? Life-threatening, huh? Uno momento. I only know a few phrases of Spanish. Please do not, do Espanol in the chat. I apologize. I'll have to look it up, but, no habla Espanol. Just little things, little bit. Just like French. Oh, crap. Let me just stretch that out a little bit. I can reach it from here, I swear. So, let's see what this weather alert is. Well, I mean, since it interrupted, we might as well take the phone. So, set that down. My blankie. Well, we're checking the... Alright, so there's a flash flood. Warning is in effect for this area until 11 p.m. I guess that's Central Standard Time. This is a dangerous and life-threatening situation. Do not attempt to travel unless you are fleeing an area subject to flooding or under an evacuation order. Alright. I mean, like, dude. Oh, damn. Yes. Yeah, isn't my background pretty? So, that's interesting. I'm gonna plug my phone in. If I get washed away with a flood, just know it was possibly something biblical. Sorry. I was the unicorn that just got washed away because something like that wasn't supposed to be or whatever, you know. I didn't make the cut for Noah's boat. Sorry, I'm fiddling with this damn outlet. Can't get it. Alright, so. You have my full attention now. Alright, we're good? Alright, now I have to swap all of these because I might have messed up particularly bad. I did. Alright, so. I lost track of my tens. That was weird. Alright, so. That was good. We're good with this. So. Pop that down. Pop this up. Ah! Alright, so we're good. Alright. And then this goes over here. It's not that bad of a blender. I still have everything spaced properly. I just gotta move the torch a little bit. Now if I accidentally, you know, skip, if I would have went with that, it would have been like a slow trek for like that one spot. It would have sucked. It's a good thing I caught it now versus later. Oops. Did you need something, Glitchmeister? Oops, that's not high enough. Alright, so let's see. Whoops. Might have. There we go. Gotta fill that back up. Alright, we're good. Moving on. I'll flip. Waiting. There we go. I was like, I know I put one down. I'm not going to put another one down because then it would just go right next to it. Don't want that to happen. I don't know if that one fell down or not. Well, I'll see it if I look back, right? Yeah, that one probably didn't fall down. Now that I know what they look like when they're down there. Oh, I'm already over half. Nice. Over halfway there. Oh, IT's hardcore, dude. I'm gonna be one of those first people that like get like reprimanded for like teasing. Like, yeah, okay, yeah, I did that. I said that. It's like, oh, you shouldn't have pushed them. You shouldn't, they were on their last their last leg or whatever. I'm like, what? What are you talking? I was like, they knew I was joking. You know. Oh, I don't attack people who are like actually not gonna be able to take it. You know, those people who claim every flood is some sort of biblical thing, or any like locust swarm or whatnot. It's not. It's a product of, what is that called? Okay, so when there's a good season of food, like crops, there'll be a good season of breeding for other animals, all right? So with that good season of other animals breeding, that means that there's going to be an upswing of certain degrees of insects, all right? So if it's really wet, this or that, there's going to be a multitude of different things that prosper in the really wet months, because there's going to be an upswing of breeding because their natural environment is being met, all right? So people who continue to sit there and say that it's because of this or that, other than the actual facts of it being biological instead of being, you know, the reason why we're having floods and quick, what are those things called? Weather events, like those little environmental swings of weather. Two reasons. One, the sun is having like hissy fits, which are, you could say not growing pains, but like stretching. You know, you gotta consider that the sun has some like pressure on it. Okay, and every so often it will shoot out. It will expel some of its compressed bits out every so often. And this is called a solar injection. Like a mass solar injection are the big ones, but all the time it's doing these little ones, little spurts here, little spurts there, and it will what is that called? It will change certain people's moods. They won't be able to function as well, or they'll get very aggressive because they're more sensitive to frequency changes than other people. Some people will lose some cognitive abilities, which is scary. Other people will not only get aggressive, but yet they'll get super moody too, like, wah kind of moody. Um, and then there'll be weather fluctuations. Like, our okay, so there are patterns in the solar system that revolve around certain things happening with the sun and the planet rotations. And when those certain things become met, like when you meet those certain environmental changes and whatnot for the solar system as well, certain things will happen. And people have noticed that things on certain planets are waking up, like the cores are springing forward because there's all this influx of solar changes with the sun, and it's seeding the galaxy, and with these waves going through, it's setting off a chain reaction on the planetary what is that called? The astrology of patterns and whatnot that's going on. We have certain planets that rotate into our solar system every so often, which also create influxes with certain wibbles and wobbles of planets getting closer and planets pulling asteroids towards us or shooting asteroids out into their solar system. We are pretty damn close to this other solar system that we will kind of go into theirs and they'll go into ours. And while we're going into certain bits of their solar system, things will happen. And We get really close to certain neighbors, and it's in a way it's good and in a way it's bad because we're causing certain things to their system and they're causing certain things to our system. And hopefully they're not thinking that we're doing this purposely because we're not. It's just what happens every so many hundreds of thousands, possibly billions of years. It's a pattern. And every time there's one of these planetary shifts of the Earth tilting on its axis, we have a lot of catastrophes happen. We are way past due for it, but I think the Earth is trying to slowly turn so that it doesn't lose most of itself, but it is turning slightly every year, which is not a bad thing. Not a bad thing at all. But it is going to change a few things, just a lot. And there could be quite a lot of severe weather before it fully gets into its next rotation kind of tilting thing. Antarctica will possibly be in the equator for what they hypothesize, and a lot of places that were above water are going to be below water again, and there's going to be a lot of rocky situations, so to speak. But all of the other planets are waking up. That's nice, right? I mean, like, this happens every so often. Sometimes um most of the time our planetary our globe changes. Sometimes we get more mountains. Sometimes we um think like continents break apart and shift because we have a whole crapload of tectonic plates that are moving all the time, and they're moving sometimes very slow, and then sometimes they have big shifts, and yeah, it gets a little interesting, you know. Sometimes we get new species from these shifts because there's certain times there are mass extinctions, but yet mass blooms of different types of species during these times. Because people have to have these evolvation kind of types of things. Like certain critters will not be able to be around certain types of. Okay, so each animal has its own ecosystem, alright? So during these tilts and everything, there's going to be animals that are now being pushed to be in warmer waters and other animals that are being pushed in colder waters. So then they're having to adapt to these new colder waters or these new warmer waters. And with these adapting abilities, there's going to be variations and slight changes, and then possibly breaking off of two different species. These ones are going to be more adapted to cold water, and these species are going to be more adapted to warmer waters, and they're going to swim farther this way or farther that way in order to get these warmer waters so they can stay as they are. But yet, the new area that they're growing in is going to have different types of foods, so that's going to change them. And that's why we have so many different birds and different fish and all kinds of adaptations to certain things that used to um, they derived from like these little organisms that were like possibly this itty bitty little thing. Little worms end up being huge beasts after a while because they made friends with other organisms, and then we have critters as we are right now. Look at ooh, you know. Eh, I'm not really worried because, like, what can I do? Am I gonna say stop tsunami? It ain't gonna listen. It's not gonna listen. Oh, what the flip is that? There's a traveling merchant's llama on the. Where's your merchant? Um. All right. Let me just Oh, there he is. Let's see what he has. Birch tree, huh? Lime green. Fire coral. No, sir, I'm good. I'm sure those were cocoa beans instead of melons, but if you want to fight me on it, I will check for you. I think you might be right. They were melon. Good job. Good job. All right. I admit defeat this time. Just this time. I could have sworn they looked like cocoa beans before, but alright, you won. You won. Alright. So, moving on. So, I don't know whether the other llama actually jumped down or not. They might have despawned. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's like, I'm not taking it personally. I don't see why other people would take it personally if, like, a natural disaster came and just, like, decimated everything. It's like, you really gonna get angry at nature? Unless technology was behind the nature, then, like, there's no reason to get angry about it. Well, there are people who are playing with this this HARP program where they're manipulating the weather in order to strike fear and whatnot in their enemies and all this good stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What they're doing is messing up the atmosphere, which is making us very prone to what are those things called? We are prone to attacks from the sun, which aren't really super attacks from the sun. It's them expelling in a manner to which, if it's not careful, it's going to hit the planet because we're already seeded and it's seeding the rest of the planets out around us. Because that's what stars do. They seed planets. They're like the gardeners of the solar system. Because the ejections are good for the solar system. Without the injections, then, like, the ejections? Injection? No, it's not injections. It's, without their ejections, then the rest of the other planets aren't getting what, like, do you know what panspermia is? All right, so I'm sorry, the very name of it makes me giggle. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Panspermia is the hypothesis, which is known to be true, but it's still a hypothesis, of when binary stars, they go about smashing into each other, or planets smashing into each other, uh, huge cataclysmic solar disruptions where two stars collide, and then they do end up fusing into one another, but they release a whole crapload of things, and they call these nebulas. All right, and you can see these like way back from themselves, and sometimes they make green colors or blue colors or pink colors or purple. I said pink, like sorry, and they make these beautiful colors, yellow too, yeah, and with these different like whatever these suns were carrying at the time, the stars, sorry, stars. They call them stars. But yet ours is called a sun, so I just say all of them are suns, but whatever. Anyways, so with these stars that collide, they end up I don't want to say impregnating all of the galaxies around, sorry, the solar systems around them, but they kind of do. They're sharing materials in interesting ways. Now, hmm, I mean, there are a lot of people who are covering this thing, and it seems like really silly for me to be explaining it while I'm playing a video game. Like I should have like maps up here and some cool graphics and designs and whatnot, and I can't even have my subscriber goal, take notches. So anyways, I got some of the knowledge up here, but I don't have any of the knowledge to like spread off onto these anyways, so layman's perspective of things, sun, like stars, are gardeners. Planets are plots of lands that need to be seeded occasionally, okay? So if the gardeners of their solar systems are not expelling on planets that have not had their core fired up or like recharged in a certain sense, things are not able to stimulate on the surface of the planets to the point where they can actually produce life, or gardens like certain people uh, talk about planets to be. Yeah, yeah, I mean, okay, this is just from my layman's perspective. Yeah, take it with 2 grains of salt, whatever, put a little pepper in there. Anyway, so I have a lot of interesting subjects that I like, and it's one of the things that I like to research and look at. I mean, I've always been drawn to the stars since I was a wee one because it was something that I could look at. I was a sky gazer and a stargazer. I don't know how to map the systems. I don't know how to do any of that. I just enjoy looking at the stars and learning about it, okay? So, I like planets. Me like planets. Ooga booga. um, I don't know any of the terminology for it. I just Hey, I was learning a little bit of it, but yeah, you know how like school is. They give you just a little tidbit of something you're interested in, and then they just like scoot over to another subject. Ah, dude, I was deeply interested in certain subjects, but when I started getting like more interested in it, they stopped. It's like whenever you start asking questions about certain things, they stop teaching you about it because it becomes too in depth or whatnot. And it's like you have to really, really look for these damn things in order to find anything on it. And it gets annoying because it's like, not only do people want to throw in like conspiracy theories in certain regards to subjects, but they want to make you believe that things are a certain way when you know them to be this way, and then it's like, no, you were programmed wrong, and then they were like, no, they were programmed wrong, and then there's a whole huge fight on this and that, and it's like, I was like, I just want the facts, damn it. Just give me the flippin' facts. I'm done with your damn conspiracies. Freak you out. And where like I'm constantly told that people are like parrots, and I'm like, anybody is like a parrot, because if you don't know something and you're taught one way, you're going to hold on to that one way unless somebody sits there and comes along and teaches you another way of doing it. And it's like, I've seen, like, while I was working with people, I've seen them do things like weird ways, and I'm like, hey, can I help you out a little bit? Like in my years of this job, I like to do it this way. If you want to do it this way, this is cool. But if you don't, I'm not gonna try to help you again, like in this regard. And sometimes they're like, "Oh yeah, that was really nifty," or like, "Ah, I don't like doing it that way." And I was like, "Fine, hey, you do it the way you feel comfortable doing it." But I just thought I'd add my 2 cents. But like, what really irks me is whenever someone like they come into a job and then they're doing the least amount of work. Okay, so they're taking this one female. I'm not trying to blacklist anyone. I'm not going to say any names. But this one female came to this work site, and she was moving one little cup at a time when the box itself was not even 2 pounds. These were like light little tumbler things. And she was taking one cup that was sold for $1. And she was moving that one cup halfway across the store instead of bringing the cart over to the location and taking one cup and putting it on the shelf. And then, because it was like, it wasn't something that you could stack but like 3 high on the shelf, but she was taking one cup at a time. And I was like, what? I was like, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, I'm just, putting up merchandise. I was like, you're wasting time. And I was like, you can bring the cart closer. And she's like, oh, and I was like, or even the box closer. And she's like, well, because her excuse was that she had some stuff on the aisle that she didn't feel like bringing the cart back and forth, and that so she wanted to just leave the cart there and take the cup one cup at a time. And like the third cup she was on, I had asked her what she was doing because I thought it was ridiculous. So she ended up, she she explained to me that there were, the merchandise that, she left the cart there because there were 3 boxes on there. Because she only put 4 things on the cart. So, like, when I do merchandise, I put as much stuff on that cart as I possibly can, and I put it in the sections that I know the things are, and I will take things off the cart and rearrange it in the sections so that I can, do it quick. Put it on the sales for a click, and so I don't have to go to like one aisle, then the next aisle, then go back to this aisle, then go back to that aisle, and then come to this aisle, and then go all the way to these aisles. So I'm kind of finicky about it. I will rearrange my cart first, which will take like maybe 3 to 4 minutes, all right? And after I rearrange the cart to where I can quickly go through the merchandise on each aisle, because I pretty much know the aisles by then, and to have her sit there and say that those 4 items that she had on the cart, which were all flippin' super light items, there were 3 items on the cart that did belong down the one aisle that she had the cart. And I was like, all right, well, you can move the box over to where you are and hold it and pull out the merchandise, because this box wasn't even like 2 pounds. Anyone can hold like 2 pounds. Like, a child is more than flipping 2 pounds. But anyways, so this really bothered me to the point where I was like, I picked the box up, and she was like, after she took her 4th tumbler, and I picked the box up. I was a manager of this department, and I was like, okay, this is how we do it, and like, productivity was important. And if she's just sitting there walking 5 to 6 aisles just for 1 cup, and then walking back, and then grabbing another cup and walking back, and this thing had at least 12 cups in it, all right? And I was like, oh, okay, all right. So she's on her 4th cup. Like, I picked the cups up, and I was like, look, see, they fit 3. And I was like, and then I broke the box up, and I'm like, and you haven't even walked over here yet. I was like, can I help you with this cart? And she's like, I'm paid hourly, and I don't want to do it your way. And I was like, okay, all right, I understand this. I really do understand that you don't want to do work. You don't want to work, but people are being hired to work here. And she was like, are we going to have a problem? And I was like, I don't know. Are we going to have a problem? I was like, first off, I had put carts together for the associates to bring out. And I had organized them so it'd be really easy to actually go by aisle. And the associates that were working with me really loved how I stacked the carts. They really easy, okay? And hold on, 6, 7, 8. I lost count. Flip. Alright, so they really liked the way I stacked the carts because I was like being weird and OCD or neurotic about it. And this one had taken 4 items off of a cart that I had stacked. Only the 4 lightest items, and put it on a brand new cart, and then pulled it out so that she could do this while I was doing price changes and ordering things. And I was like, she's new associate, and I was like, I wasn't there when she was hired. I did not hire her. My supervisor did, and I had been off 2 days prior, and I was like, oh, hi, and I introduced myself, And we talked while she was next to the cart, and I was like, so everybody walked you through how to, like, do, merchandising, how to, she's like, oh, I took all the CBLs and blah, blah. I was like, oh, that's great. And I didn't introduce myself as the manager, but I was like, if you need any help, I'm right here. And like the third cup, this third green cup that she had walked by with, and I was like, what's going on here? I don't understand. I was like, okay, maybe they gave her a quick walkthrough with something, okay? And then she said that, she already knew how to do it. And then I noticed that there were only 4 boxes on the cart, and I was like, I know I did. I had full carts here. I mean, like, there were at least 5 to 6 carts back there that I had picked manually after, picking everything. I had to go through with the Gemini and pick things. I walked the whole department, well, a whole couple departments, and I picked out, like, 6 carts, like, full of merchandise. And I'm like, okay, all right. So this is a new person. I need to be gentle. I need to be understanding. So I walked her through like what was supposed to go down, and then she's like, I don't like, I'm working hourly. I'm trying to get the most for my money while not actually straining myself. And I'm like, I was like, the box wasn't even 2 pounds. I mean, it says how much the box is on the side of the package. I mean, and I was like, and this other stuff. I was like, you mix some towels with some cups. I was like, these were on 2 different carts. Flash flood warning. Okay. So, severe thunderstorms. Okay, destructive 90 miles per hour winds. Take shelter in a sturdy building away from windows. Flying debris may be deadly to those caught without shelter. Okay, so I was so I was being gentle as I could. And then she was like, are we going to have a problem here? And I was like, I don't know. Are we going to have a problem? And one of the associates that was training her the last 2 days came over, and she's like, oh, you met this, blah, blah, blah's name. She had her name tag on and everything. And I was like, yeah. I was like, did they cover some of the carts back there? And she's like, no, the carts are fine. She had one. She had brought out some, like, domestics and everything. And I was like, all right. I was like, did you tell her that that it was proper to bring out carts that were, like, the pick and choose off of the carts? Because I'm just trying to, like, figure out why she didn't want to bring one of the full carts out. It wasn't heavy. She had no disabilities. I don't understand, because, like, I know some of the people in the department were older, and I'd make light carts for them so that there would only be some light toiletries things on there, and they would just take those and work them at their convenience, which I was not pushing anyone to be, quicker, faster, or anything. They'd get done with it within a few hours. I was fine with that. But this was a fully able-bodied woman, like female. Sorry, I shouldn't give her the title of woman. This was a fully able female, and she only had 4 things on her cart. And this was upsetting me to the least. And she's like, no. She's like, what? She'd asked her. She goes, why did you take things off the cart? And she's like, those are mine. And she went and she took the towels, and I was like, and she was like, I told you yesterday that I do the domestics, and while you're here, you'll do the housewares. And And she had like she was like, because you said you had problems with your back, and I was like, you have problems with your back? And she's like, no, I don't have any problems with my back. And the associate that I was used to working with, who had been working there for years before I'd become the manager there, she was like, what? You told me yesterday that you had problems with your back. And I was like, so you helped her with her training? She's like, yeah. And I was like, okay. So did you teach her to do 1 cup at a time? She's like, what? And I was like, okay. I was like, so what did you teach her? Because I'm a little worried here, because I don't think she's properly trained, but yet she doesn't want me to train her. And so she's like, the associate that I knew was like, okay, well, I showed her how to read the barcodes. I told her that, to put the cart next to the end of the aisle so that it's not blocking any merchandise. And I was like, that's great. That's good. All right. We're moving along. This is fantastic. And then she's like, but I didn't show her to take things. I told her that you pull the carts by aisle, and whenever you're not there, to take a cart and then move it from aisle to aisle, because the people who were there picking would not be as nice to the associates, and they just throw everything on there, not per aisle. And I was like, okay, well, I was like, whenever they do that, just take a clear cart and put the things in the departments that they're supposed to be in. All right? I was like, it's not going to hurt you to move, a box from a cart into there. So she had told her that, but what this person had done was just take 4 items off of it, and those were just the 4 lightest items that she could find, and then decide that this was going to take her whole 6-hour shift to do. I mean, this bothered me like a lot. Because not only was their progress supposed to be my progress, because a manager, you're responsible for your associates, but I was also working those carts, and the carts that were left over I had to do, and I wouldn't complain about it. But to see someone sit there and try to use four boxes of the lightest, easiest things to put up on display, or in their proper place, that kind of bothered me a lot. So I was like, okay, all right. So I was like, do you want to go grab a cart, since the associate that I did know had taken those other 3 boxes off of the cart and put it on her cart that I had previously made just for her. And so she was like, no, I think I'm done. I'm gonna go take a break. And I was like, you've only been here 15 minutes. And she's like, I don't have to answer to you. You don't pay my paycheck. And I was like, I don't think you understand how working works. And the associate that I knew was like, she's our manager, and you have to actually work when you're here. And I was like, this is what I'm trying to gently explain to her, and the associate that's there is trying to, like, hey. And I was like, all right. I was like, I'm going to have to talk to someone higher up than me, because I can't personally coach you, but I'm having a problem with your work style and your attitude. And so I did. I talked to my superior, which then it ended up being someone she had hired that was a friend of hers. And I was like, what? And she's like, there's nothing I can do about it. But while I was talking to my supervisor about it, another supervisor had stopped and was just eavesdropping on the conversation and said, no, 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 no. This doesn't work like this. You're having a problem, come with me. And I was like, all right. And she's like, well, there, and my supervisor's like, there's a procedure, and that, she has to talk to me first. And then she had stopped, and she looked at her, and she looked at me, and she was like, are you done talking to her? And I was like, oh yes, I'm very much done talking to her. And then she was like, well, she just talked to you about it. You're not willing to do anything about it. So now she's talking to me about it. Procedure has been met. And I was like, go, favorite manager. It's like, you are my new favorite manager. You're above her, but yeah. And so she brought that associate in and question her about it. I had to sit there and explain what had happened. And then the other associate had been called in to explain what had happened, because there had to be a witness. And my supervisor had to be in the room too, and said that no, we were both lying. And then they looked at the security footage about it. And then she got her first coaching and she never came back. And I was like, wow. And then I got yelled at by my supervisor, low key, that I shouldn't have even caused any problems because I was the problem. And I was like, what? Because if it wasn't for me complaining about her not doing her fair share, that her friend would not have felt like it was a waste of time. I was like, okay. Because my supervisor wasn't doing what she was supposed to be doing either. And they didn't catch my supervisor not doing what she wasn't supposed to be doing until after I had got fired and let go. So I was like, whatever. Hey, you found out because nobody was doing her work too. I hope that was a pleasant surprise. I had told them what I was doing, that I was doing her share too, and they didn't believe me because obviously my supervisor was more trusted than I was. But when she was out, because she got into 2 car crashes pretty damn close together, they noticed that her work had not been, the work had not gone down. It had actually been better. And then when she got back, it had gone back down to super standards because she was having me do extra stuff that wasn't even supposed to be, like, I was supposed to be doing. Like, other stuff for other department managers. And I was like, why am I having, I was like, I'm not even finished with my own stuff. We're supposed to be doing like your own stuff first, and then if you're finished with your own stuff, you're supposed to be helping other managers. But I was supposed to stop what I was doing so I could help these other department managers because they were also under her. And I wasn't getting my stuff done, but yet she was still getting praise for the other managers that weren't doing their stuff. I was like, are you kidding me? I didn't really understand that because whenever she wasn't there, I didn't have to help these other managers, other department managers do their stuff. But yet when she was there, I had to. This was high priority. I was like, mother flip. It's like, I have no problem helping other people. I honestly don't. But if you have to do a certain amount of things in your own department first, and I had like 7 departments that I had to cover, I had to be a manager of, and then I'm having to stop what I'm doing before I'm even done with the 7 departments that I have to go through every day and make sure everything's spot on and all the price changes are done, all the counts are done, the negatives are done, the ordering's done for these 7 departments. And yet I have to stop what I'm doing so I can help other people who only have maybe 1 to 2 departments that they have to cover. There's something wrong there. There's something really wrong. And I was only hired for 1 department. I was supposed to be the hardware manager. Oh my goodness. It was so flippin' atrocious because they were like, you're only going to be looking after housewares and domestics and furnishings. And okay, so there was furnishings, housewares, domestics, furniture, seasonal for furnishing, well, not furnishings, but seasonal for what the hell is that called? Domestics, and seasonals for housewares. Alright? So, yeah, that's 6, but yet they had a little seasonal section in the furnishings too. But that changed all the time. That was more like a little mod like area. Sometimes some end caps, but that was mostly just like one side of it, of the mod. I had to do mods like all flippin' season. And then they were like, why are you doing mods? And I was like, it's part of the season. It's like, it's a seasonal thing. And then they were like, no, this person's supposed to do these seasonal things. And then they were like, no, she's supposed to do them. And then I was like, dude, just decide. They're like, oh, well, this person can't do it because of this, so we're having her do this. And I was like, wait, am I even supposed to be doing this? And they're like, yes, just do it. And I was like, But yeah, and then hardware. So I was covering all of these departments, doing mods for all of these departments, and they usually had mods drop pretty damn close to each other. So with them taking associates from their designated, because there were 2 associates in hardware, and then there was an associate in housewares and an associate in domestics. Okay, now only got like 4 associates, that like maybe if I was lucky, 4 associates, but usually 3 most of the time. And sometimes they would schedule 2 overlapping another. Well, they would always take these associates to grocery because people did not want to hire anyone for grocery. And then they didn't want to do their returns, so they would take my associates that were under me that were supposed to be doing the housewares returns and the domestics returns and the hardware returns and the furnishings and furniture returns, and having them do that for grocery, which was all the way across the store. And that was fun because there'd be nobody to do the carts and nobody to do their returns. So that was fun. And they were like, you have 4 associates working daily. And I was like, 4? It turns out they had taken one of the associates they would schedule an extra associate either in housewares or domestics and just take them right over to groceries. And I had an associate I had never met before, and they thought they were grocery. And I was like, wait a minute. Well, and they were like, yeah, you have this associate. And I was like, I've never met this person. And they were like, what? They're like, yeah, they're and then they called them to the desk and they were like, hi. And I was like, hi. And they were like, yeah, this is your housewares associate. And I was like, hi. I was like, where have you been? And they were like, housewares? No, I'm groceries. And I was like, and this doesn't prove that they're stealing associates? This doesn't prove. And then there was like a management flipping argument that went on, and dude, it was pretty damn bad. They didn't even know that this was happening, even though I had told them like 4 or 5 times. And they were like, why is nothing getting done? I was like, I am one person doing everything in 7 departments. And then after they got yelled at for stealing these associates for months, then productivity started popping. Like, and then there was just complaints about the overnight not actually filling the stocks, because they said they were doing things, which then ended up getting them coached, because I had an overnight manager sit there an extra 30 minutes watching me throw product that had been on a fully worked pallet. And I said, I come in here every flipping day and I put up at least 4 to 5 pallets worth of already done product. And then this person had said that it was because of it was because they didn't give them enough time overnight. And I was like, well, you shouldn't lie about saying that you had done these things when you didn't. I was like, that's my only problem. Just say it's not worked. Put a note on it, hasn't been touched. Or don't sit there and tell people to bin it in whenever it gets binned in and then brought back out. I mean, like, dude, the binners for overnight were getting pissed off, because they were like, this stuff says that it should be on the shelf. We shouldn't be, binning it in. And I was like, yeah, it should be on the shelf. There's like huge gaps in the department because overnight stockers were saying that they needed, that they had already done these things and they couldn't put any more product down. And it was a whole mess. It was a mess and a half. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It was just, ugh. But yeah, after they had got that done, it was like, yeah, things started filling back up, and I actually had associates, and then they actually counted how many associates I had versus what some other departments had, and then I got more associates, so I had like up to 5 to 6 associates in certain areas, and then they started stealing some associates to help in various other, because my associates were well trained. I made sure the associates that were working around me knew what they were doing. They were productive. They got praise for what they were doing. I'd sit there and dance a little bit whenever they got things done. We'd sit there and like, yeah, victory. I walked someone one time how to do a mod, and he flippin' did it beautifully. And I was like, holy flip. I was like, you're my favorite. I was like, honestly, you are my favorite. You are the mod master, and like, holy flip. He's like, I did good. I was like, this is phenomenal. I was like, I couldn't do it better myself. And he was like, and I was like, yeah. And we did like a 2 minute dance, like maybe not even 2 minutes, and some of the other associates started laughing, and then I was like, look how beautiful this is, and then they started dancing, and we had this whole little victory party. It was fantastic. So I didn't have any problems with the associates I was working with and around, but people kept taking them to other damn departments. And they were complaining about this too because they didn't want to work in those other departments because nothing was done. Everything was messed up, and they made the carts so congested to the point where you had to go to every flippin' aisle just to put one thing down. And I was like, first off, that's because their bins back there are so messed up because I had gone on a rampage in my own bins because I had so much deleted crap whenever I got there. I got the manager position, and they told us we had to go through our deleted. We had to do, I had all this checklist, okay? So first thing I did was I grabbed everything deleted and I put it on a cart. And I started working it into a section that I had just for deleted. It was flying off the shelves, no problem. There were some like dining sets that were flipping $5. They were some really nice dining sets too. And there were like huge boxes of these things, like 5 to 6 different dining sets that were at 1.35 something that were only $5. They were like what is that called? Like it was like a Hunter's Delight thing. They had these uh it was like a specialty kind of thing where they had a buck, some geese, some duck, and like some pheasants on it. It was like a whole set, and it was just a whole bunch of these dishes and cups and whatnot. I was like, that's maybe for like a bachelor's pad, and that'd be cool, and everything. That stuff flew off the damn shelf so damn quick. I was like, dude, like I put like $5 and I had these throws there and dishes. I just made this whole hunter's display, and it just had $5 on it. And these blankets that had these like bucks on them were so damn soft. I was like, if they lasted a week, I was going to get one because like you're not allowed to profit off of like deleted and everything. You have to let it sit for like a week before you could even like pick anything off. You can't just it was stupid. I was like, how about a day? They're like, no, not a week. And I was like, but it's soft. And they were sitting there laughing at me. And I was like, but I want it. But it was like, yeah, I had to wait a flippin' week. And like, thankfully there were 2 blankets left after that week. And I got one, and I was like, it was so flippin' soft, and it was like this buck, this majestic buck, just sitting on like this meadow, and it had this like frill around it and everything. It was like one of those like super soft ones on one side, and then like super majestic on the other side. I use it as a throw. My ex put it in the dryer, and the back side of it ended up being like awful after that, like all matted and. Ugh. But anyways, it was awesome when it was awesome. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I had specifically told him not to put the damn blanket in the dryer because it was probably polyester or something. It was something that was like once an oil or something, a derivative, like this stuff, this furry stuff. It had like white furry on the other side of it, and then on the side that looked like the deer and everything, and it had this like golden brown border, and then on the edges of it, it had this frail stuff. The frail was fine, but the furry stuff on the back of it just matted up, and I was like, ah. I was like, that's so awful. It was like $15 prior, like the sale. It went down from like $15 to like $5. I don't know how long it had been in there, but it had been like rolled back so much that it was $5. Somebody wasn't properly doing the rollbacks, and you could tell because of what had happened, and that everything was like down to $5. And I was like, dude, first off, after I was done with the bins, I was asked to do other people's bins, and I was like, what? And like, cause like people in the back room were really praising the work that I did in the bins. It's like they were like, wow. They were like, wait a minute, someone dumped the bins and then and they were like, whoa, this is nice. And I was like, okay, because I walked back there, and they were like, they were about to bin some stuff, because most of the night they're picking everything, and they were like, yeah, we wait to pick your stuff, last, because you start picking it whenever you come in. And I was like, yeah, okay. I was like, I actually don't pick whenever I come in. First thing I do is I see what I need to pick, and then I come back and I pick. And they were like, yeah, we kind of, lax on your departments because you go through it real quick. And I was like, yeah, okay. I was like, but could you please do me this favor? And they were like, what's going on? And I was like, okay, so I have this by aisle. And they were like, yeah, okay, yeah, we see this. And I was like, if you could just please bin it the way I'm putting it in. And they were like, yeah, okay, I'll talk to the other people and everything, but like I'm mostly over in this section. And I was like, okay. I was like, I will put the carts by aisle so it's actually easier and everything. And they're like, yeah, I've noticed that. And I was like, good, sweet, awesome. And so got all of that done with them, and they were working with me. I was working with them, and the only problem was that there were the people overnight, and then we got that situation taken care of. And then for some reason my little notebook that I had all of my stuff in, because I was told that I was unaccountable for certain times of the day. And I was like, because I'm back in the bins. I am working my bins, I'm putting my product up, I'm doing all of this. And they were like, no, we need to know where you are at all times. And I was like, several managers walk by and they see me in the bins. I was like, I think they know. And they were like, oh, well, you need to write down what you're doing and when you're doing it. And I was like, what? I was like, what? Nobody else has to. And I was like, everything's getting done. So what is the problem? It's because they couldn't find me during certain times of the day, and that was when I was in the bins. And if they allowed my associates to stay in the proper places that they were supposed to be in, they sat there and they would tell them, oh yeah, she's in the bins from this time to that time. Because when we figure out that the mods are wrong, and because like my associates would have come and found me whenever they noticed that there is something wrong with the mod. Because if the mod says that it fits 32 but it only fits like 10, then I will sit there and I will go into the Gemini and I will fix it and print up a new label and plop it down right then and there. That is what I did. The problem solved. Boom. And then we would bin back the stuff, because if there was, if the SKU said that it fit 32 and there wasn't an extra place anywhere else for it to go, that SKU was wrong, and it would cause the people in the back room to have to pull something out that would just have to go back into the bin because there wasn't enough room. So if the mod was wrong, then it needed to be fixed. And then I would have people come to me and ask if I had changed the mod, and then I would walk them over to the area of as to where the mod was, and then they would sit there and count how many things, and then they would approve, and they'd go, sorry, I'm sorry. And I was like, all right. I was like, just know, I am willing to sit here and walk you through this if you really need to double check on me. And it got to the point where I could change the mods when I needed to, because I needed to a lot in domestics and in housewares, because for some reason they didn't know how to make a proper mod. Because the shelves were only so deep, and they chalked it up to people having, they would say like, oh, the super centers have deeper shelves. And I was like, are we not a super center? And they were like, oh, no, but they have deeper things, so, deeper shelves, so that's why they, and I was like, okay. They give me like these bogus claims, and it would end up that somebody miscalculated. They thought the product was actually this big versus what it actually was, and then they thought that they could fit even more things on it that they couldn't. So it was just like, alright. So most of the stuff was, if you put like a box or two, you could bring out a box or two of this product and actually fit it in. And it was interesting. It almost seemed like they were trying to cause trouble, just to see how people would sit there and deal with it. But and it ended up, I'd have like managers that weren't even over my department come after me and like, hey, we can't, we don't know where you are during these times, and let someone know when you're going to go back in the bins. And I was like, okay. So then whenever I would let somebody know, I'd have to jot down in my little notebook. Like, I had this little flip notebook with the little thing on the top. I'd have to jot down what time I told this person that I was going back into the bin. And then I'd have to go find that person and tell them that I was out of the bins and I was back onto the sales floor. And the amount of time that it took me in the bins. Okay, now, so, not only this, but I had to, it was really intrusive. They made it so that it was so, excessively annoying about doing this, that I would sit there and I would tell these people, all right, I'm out of the bin now, and they're like, what? It was like, wait, you were in the bin? I was like, I talked to you like flipping 3 hours ago, like telling you that after lunch I had to bin some merchandise, and it was going to take me a while because I had 4 pallets to go through and 2 carts or this or that, and that some people had thrown some of their junk in my bins that I needed to take out of my bins because they weren't supposed to put their stuff in my bins. Oh yeah, that happened a lot. And it wasn't the backroom associates. It was not the backroom associates. It was the department managers looking for open spots, even though they had these department numbers on the actual rolling bins. They still managed to bin things in my bins. And they weren't even coached for this. I had brought this to the attention of multiple managers that they were binning things in my bins and clogging up my bins with their merchandise. And I was like, they just need to fix their bins and actually bin deep instead of binning in my open spots. I was like, I need these spots for my merchandise. And they were like, well, just bin in their bin. I was like, you're not allowed to. And they were like, hold on, let me talk to somebody. And it was like, what? So then they bring over the manager of the back room. And the back room manager explained that no, you're not supposed to mix merchandise from different departments into the other departments' rolling bins. And then they said, hold on, we'll see if this is one of mine. They scanned the bin, they scanned the product, and they looked up by name the people who had actually binned into my bin and what time they had actually binned it in. And you know what? It was like a half hour after I'd been in the bin. They waited till I was out of the bin before they threw their crap in my bin and binned it in. And I was like, is that not a department manager? I was like, shouldn't they know better? Oh, we'll talk to them. They did it for months. Months, I tell you. They pulled me back in the back room for inventory. I had to go through people's bins myself. Go through bins and reorganize it to where it was like how I had done things in my bins. And I was like, okay. I had walked the managers, the department managers through how I did my bins so that they could do it themselves. But no. I had to do this during inventory. I had to help them with their deleted. I was like, all right. I had joked with the store manager. I was like, okay. I was like, so am I gonna get paid for these this extra? And they were like, what do you mean? And I was like, I've been doing multiple managers' work. And they're like, don't play with me. And I was like, I'm serious. And they were like, what do you mean you've been doing? And I explained what I was doing, what I have been doing. And then they were like, it's like, all right, hold on. And then they came back to me and they said no. And I was like, no what? And they were like, we're not going to pay you for the extra work that you're helping us with. And I was like, are you going to give me a little leeway with my department while this inventory is going on? Oh, no, you're doing a great job. We need you to do more. And I was like, okay, well, are these managers going to come back and help me with their deleted? And they were like, all right, let me go check. And I was like, okay. They came back and they said no. That I had to do it myself. I had to go do their deleted. And I was like, don't they have associates for this? They're like, no, but you do it so well. And I was like, mother flippin' hell. I was like, give me one of their associates. I will walk them through how to do this. I was like, I swear to you, they will be amazing at deleted after this. So the manager came back and said, I don't think you should talk to my associates. They don't want to talk to you, and I don't appreciate you trying to steal my associate. I was like, this is your deleted. I'm going to walk your associate through how to do delete it. She's like, that's a manager's job. And I was like, go ahead. And she's like, I don't have to do the deleted. I was like, you just said it's a manager's job. And this is me talking to another department manager. And she's like, I was told by the store manager that you were going to do the deleted. And I was like, do you know how to do your deleted? She's like, oh my God. And then she said my name. She's like, why do you have to be so awful? And I was like, I am not being awful. I am legit asking you if you know how to do your deleted. Because she had like 6 carts full of deleted. This is spanning from like years. I was like, alright, show me where your deleted section is supposed to be. Because everybody has a designated couple like shelves or slots, like a little space for their own deleted. She's like, you should know it by now. And I was like, yeah, I possibly should, but I don't know where your deleted is. And she's like, you pull my deleted all the time. And I was like, I know I pull your deleted. But I give them to your associates. I don't know what they do with it. And she didn't even know where her deleted section was. One of her associates that knew me, because I kept giving her the deleted sections because they kept going back, and then the night crew of the back room would tell me that I needed to deal with this because they were closer to me and that I knew how to word things properly to where I wasn't going to get coached. And I was like, okay, so you're having problems with this department. Got it. I was like, alright, let me see what I can do. So I had talked to the only associate working there, which was the one that had come back and said, oh, it's you. And I was like, where do you normally put your deleted when I give you the carts? And she's like, well, I can't find anywhere to put it, so I bring it back. And then I was like, all right. So then the store manager got called in again to designate some deleted section for this person, which was being used for something that wasn't supposed to be used for. So then the garden section had to take a whole massive thing away from the section that was supposed to be designated for pharmacy. I didn't cause this chaos. I was just dealt it. Holy flip. And they had to take their extra section that they were selling more merchandise with and everything, and they were a little upset, but they understood because they had their own deleted section, and they were like, it was just empty, and they didn't know that they couldn't use it, and so they started using it. And I was like, alright. And this had been going on for years. Years. So, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now that she had her section, she's like, oh my God, you're so annoying. And I was like, what? Because now you have an extra place to put it? And she told me this while the store manager was right there. And a garden associate was rolling away with all of the stuff that they were selling. It was a bunch of birdseed and some ornaments over top of it. But they were rolling away this stuff, and they had stopped what they were doing. And the store manager said, that is inappropriate, and you shouldn't be talking like that on the sales floor. And I was like, yeah, I forgive her, but like, can she do this now? And then she's like, I don't even know how to do this. And I was like, I will walk you through. And she's like, I don't want to do this. And the store manager's like, all right, I need to take you into the office because this is a part of your job. And you need to know how to do this. And she's like, no, we don't need to go into the office. I'm fine. Let's do this. And then I have to show her how to pick out these what the hell are the wire pieces so that she can hang stuff on the shelves, because she had to take out 3 shelves so she can hang all of these items, because she's like, I don't even have places to put these things, and they're hang items, so they're just gonna have to go back into the. I was like, no. I was like, it's not that easy. It's really not that easy. You have to sit here and wait on a manager. You have to call a manager, wait on them by the fixture room, get the accessories that you need, be able to put back the shelves that you don't need, and then get all of the hanging apparatuses that you need. And if you have anything that is sharp or can be used as a weapon, you have to put them in a spider box. You know, one of those, well, not like, there's spider wrap, and then those boxes that have the little mechanism on that needs a special key in order to open. I'm not going to explain how it works, but anyways, you need a special device in order to open these boxes, so it's a security thing, just so that, like, you can hang them up in these apparatuses, and that's if you have the little device and everything. I worked retail for a long time, dude. I had to help electronics a couple times because they helped me with these little devices, and then we had to go to electronics to get some of these devices because they had the best ones, which were the ones that could adapt to the hanging, and I was like, yeah, we need about 6 of these. And I was like, now, if you need these again, you have to go. I was like, you have to go find an electronics associate. And she's like, I know what we're doing. And I was like, all right, but these are the associates you want to find. Anyone else is just going to say, no, we can't do that because they don't have the keys. So these 2 associates you want to find. And she's like, I'll remember. And I was like, all right. I was like, I mean, she was the most difficult person to sit there and try to teach. Because not only did she hate my guts, but she hated working. I don't know why she was a manager if she hated working. But she had only been manager for like 6-7 months, and she kept saying that over and over again, that she's like, I can't believe they're throwing this on me now, and blah blah blah. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you. This happens every year. You know, inventory, it comes around every year, and we have to make sure all deleted is out before they go through, you know, with this company that they hired to check everything. That some of these people don't actually count and check. They just like scan things and hypothesize what the number actually is. I swear, it gets bad. Cause I had to follow somebody who wasn't even counting properly, and then they asked how many were actually on there because we were supposed to be watching them. And I was like, I don't know how many are on there because, you know, they were supposed to be counting. And I was counting too, and I was trying to make sure his number was the same as my numbers, and then he said that he was going to go over to the Easter section whenever I said how many are on there. I was like, I don't know how many are on there. And he was like, man, this is whack. I'm going over the Easter section. And I was like, dude, so then I had to tell the store manager, which then got him in trouble because of he was supposed to be in grocery and he wanted to just go hit on this girl that was in the Easter section. It was crazy. Super crazy. I was like, why do I have to sit here and, like, count with him? I knew how many there were, but I wasn't supposed to be telling him how many were. He was supposed to be counting, honestly. And whenever he would put a number in, it was off. And I wasn't sitting there, like, harassing him about it, but I noticed it was off. So I was supposed to be keeping a noting, thing. I should have, like, brought out a sketch. Okay, this one was wrong. This SKU was wrong. This one was wrong. Because they had me in the can section, and he had scanned one of the clips on the can section, and there were like 5 flippin' like fluffy things. I don't know what the hell they were called. They were like things that are usually over in the health and beauty thing. Flip. They were like plastic and they were like loofah. Okay, so it was like 5 loofahs on this like thing, and he was like, how many of those were there? And I was like, I don't know, how many of them are there? And he's like, this stuff is whack. I'm going to Easter. And I was like, what? I was like, you haven't even scanned anything on the aisle. You just, I mean, other than the flippin', he did an end cap. He didn't do it right. And then he scanned the clips, and then he asked me, like, the 4th clip that he was on, how many it was. And I was like, I'm supposed to be watching you to make sure you're doing this right. Why are you asking me how many loofahs are on this damn thing? And he was like, this is whack. I'm going to Easter. He walked away, and I was like, dude, you didn't even scan anything on the aisle. I was like, I don't understand. And he just went, psh, and walked off. And then, like, a manager came by while he was walking off and said, where the hell is he going? And I was like, apparently I offended him by asking him how many loofahs were on this clip strip, because he'd asked me how many were on there. I was like, there's clearly 5. I mean, what? But he was like, what? He was like, he shouldn't have been asking you at all. What, like, was he trying to get you to count for him? And I was like, I don't know. And he was like, where is he going? And I said, Easter. And so they tracked him down later, and the manager who had asked me about it came back and said he was flirting with some girl in Easter. And I was like, oh, goody. Goody. And then the store manager had asked me why I didn't follow him over to Easter. And I was like, because the manager had stopped me. And then that manager was called over. And then they were asked why they stopped me, and they said that they didn't stop me. And I was sitting there, I was like, okay, yeah, they didn't stop me, but this guy had said that he was going to Easter. And when I questioned him about him going to Easter without not scanning the whole aisle, that was whenever the person over the people who were hired just to count inventory in the store came in and said that I had offended this person so badly by sitting there and continuously telling him that he was counting wrong, that he walked away. And I was like, what? And then they were like, no, that's not what happened. And then I explained again what had happened. And they were like, so he didn't even start the counting. I was like, do you not have like a way to check on what he did scan? I was like, do you have codes and stuff? And they were like, hold on, I'm calling headquarters. And I was like, okay. And then like the store manager's like, you should be keeping track of what your associates are doing. And she's like, with the cell phone. And then she walks out of and then about 30 minutes later, I was called back into the office, and they said that they apologized, that the person had wasted my time. And I was like, I mean, you really didn't need to, because I didn't really. I was like, dude, just, you know. I was like, just, flipping, hire better people, maybe. I was like, I really didn't need to apologize to. It's just like, he tried to say that it was my fault after I had joked about me offending him with the loofah. He had said that I had offended him, and that's why he walked off. And then, like, there was this big speech. They tried to make this big speech about how the employer that I was working for, associates, were intimidating them, and that they were not going to stand for it. And I was just like, okay. And then I was apologized to by the store manager and the people that they hired to do inventories manager. And I was like, dude, just, hire better people. I mean, don't need to apologize. I was like, it's not my problem, it's your problem, kind of thing. It's like, hey, it's like, I don't want to have to be here next time. Like, I don't like encroaching on people's work, and I was told to make sure that their counts were right, and I was counting along with him. I wasn't counting out loud, I wasn't being intrusive, and then I was being blamed for being intrusive, obtrusive, or whatever. I was blamed for being annoying. I was like, eh. So I guess I only dropped one. But it was just, I was like, I don't know why they have to hire anyone to count for, like, inventory anyways, if they can't trust the people that they're hiring to flippin' do this. I mean, like, don't they put them through training? Like, is this only like a temporary thing, or do they have these people all year round? Whoops. But yeah, anyways, my notebook went missing, and then some new things started coming into effect, like the time clock. Like, you had to, they were trying to keep track of people working. Like, they were trying to keep track of when I was doing stuff, because I had logs of all of this stuff. And I was like, wait a minute. And then, like, it had my whole day scheduled in this thing and what I would do. And then the CAP program came up. And I was like, dude, don't tell me they did. They flipping, they took my notebook. They made, progress from my notebook and then tried to teach me how to do what they had taken from me. And I was like, okay. And I had noticed it was everything I was doing as a manager. And I was like, oh, I already know how to do this. And then I was spouting out everything you had to do, because it was everything I had to do. I was like, this is what I was doing as a manager. They're pretty much making backroom associates managers, and then managers were having less work to do because they were complaining that they had so much work to do and that they couldn't do it because they needed to do price changes and negatives and all this other stuff and deleted and whatnot. And so they cut what managers actually had to do and forced backroom associates to be new type of associates, but yet the overnight backroom associates were actually not supposed to be doing this CAP program. They were only supposed to be picking. And I was like, wait a minute, this is kind of weird. And I explained this to my supervisor, and they were like, all right. So they had the sheet where they were trying to teach people how to do this. And I was like, I went through everything that, that I do. And I was like, he was like, how do you know this already? I was like, this seems very much like my notebook that went missing. I was like, wow. And I didn't even get credit for any of that. But it became policy. I'm like, Dad. I was like, I wonder who took credit for it, though. I was like, that was mine. That was my progress, my efficiency. Stuff I did. Like, dude, I had walkthroughs of everything I did in that notebook. Every time a manager would stop me, I would write it down, because I was told that I had to write it down because I wasn't getting my stuff done, and that they needed logs of who was doing it, what time, because as soon as I brought out my notebook and I wrote down what I was supposed to be doing for this manager, and I'd flip it back down and I'd put it back in my thing, and then when I didn't get something done all the way within the time frame that I was supposed to get it done, another manager would come over and go, what the hell? And I would flip it up. And I was like, from this time to this time, I was doing this for this person. Then they would end up calling them over, and then they would sit there and go, yeah, I needed help. And I was like, they would even, there were only 2 managers who would sit there and say, no, I didn't ask them to do that. I was like, check the time logs. They came right to the hardware desk. They told me I had to. And they said that if I wanted to keep my job, yeah, they would threaten me. If I wanted to keep my job, that I had to do it this. And I was like, so I'd write it down. And then I would write down the threat too. Like, threatened, if wanted to keep job. And then, flip it down. And then put it back in my back pocket. And that little book went missing. Nobody got in trouble for it, but new policies sprung up, and I was like, flippin' hell. And then people were all angry because they had to be timed for certain things, and they didn't know where the hell that came from. It's because they were doing it to me first. And I was like, holy flip. It's like, far be it for me to have a 15-minute break. Just, dude, that was a problem to certain people. 'Cause like they'd see me on that bench, I just sit down, and they're like, "Oh, good, you're not doing anything. Come with me." And I was like, "This is my 15-minute break, dude. Just like this is my last time." Like I had lunch, and like this is my first 15-minute break that I'm actually getting, because after a certain time, customers would slow down, and there'd be like this little amount of time where I could actually have a 15-minute break, and I tried to take it, but those managers would sit there and they're like, "No, no, you gotta come with me." And I was like, and then I sit there and jot it down, wave at the camera, because there was a camera right next to the time clock where I was about to take a 15-minute break, and nobody got in trouble for stopping me from taking a 15-minute break. Nope. They were supposed to, though. You're not allowed to stop an associate who's on their break, because that is their time. You're not allowed to ask an associate to stop with their lunch. You're not allowed to ask them to come back from their lunch while they're on their lunch, because they are off the clock and not to be bothered by a manager. This was in the policy. And the 15-minute break, they weren't allowed to stop you from having a 15-minute break, which had happened numerous times. They would stop me while I was trying to go to the restroom, and I'm like, hold on, I'm about to, wee myself. I gotta go. And they're like, as soon as you're out of the bathroom, come right back here. And I was like, all right, or we can meet at the hardware desk if you like, or you could tell me where to meet you as soon as I'm finished. And they're like, all right, come to the cutting room. Come the cutting room desk, the fabrics desk. Come to that desk, and we'll talk. And as soon as I was done, with the restroom, I'd go to where they asked me to go. Sometimes the sporting room's desk. Sometimes it was the flipping cutting table, or the fitting room. And with the fitting room, I had a witness right there. And they could just walkie and go, did so-and-so ask, this person to, do something while they were there? They had me all over the flipping store. Damn it, I think that was it, but I'm not sure. I think I might have overcounted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But yeah, they were like, why are they doing this now? And blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, it's like, I lost my secret tablet, and now they found the right to do this to everyone. It's like, I wasn't about to sit there and tell them that they found my tablet and decided to do that to everyone. But like my manager was getting pissed off because I wasn't getting every single thing on the checklist done. And then whenever, because she gave me a huge checklist to get done, and I would, if I wasn't bothered, I'd get everything done and then do some extra stuff. But if another manager, another superior manager, stopped me, I got barely any of it done because they'd have me doing stuff in their department for them. And I was like, you have associates right there, and they were just sitting around doing nothing. And I was like, what the, I was like, I don't understand. Oh, well, they have other things that they need to do, and they're just sitting there like snickering. And I was like, what the hell is this? I was like, what? I didn't understand this. So I had to go over to certain areas and watch people not work, but yet have to do their job. And then get in trouble for not doing my job because I was pulled over to other position. I was like, what the? So not only was this system to account for all the things that I was doing, but what the managers were doing, because the managers above me needed to do this little scan in what they were doing kind of crap so that they can be held accountable for what they were doing. And it was like, this is, I mean, if they could just not do certain things and use their own associates for certain things, which they were supposed to be able to do, or like fire the ones that weren't doing anything and honestly hire ones who wanted to work. Just saying. Just saying. I felt like I was legit the only one held accountable for everyone else's crap. I was like, what the? And instead of giving me credit for helping out and like helping to modify things for a more productive level, they sit there and they fire me for this, and then they watch everything crush and crumble around them. Because like I was yelled at by associate who used to work in the claims, well, who I guess they still work in the claims department, that the people in the back room, because after I stepped down as a manager, because the store manager who kept claiming that they were going to separate the departments, that the 7 departments that I was working, and they were going to hire 3 people to take the departments that should have been with, should have been like several people working. She kept running around, and then she sat there and yelled at me on the sales floor in front of an M1 who was just one level below her, because as a store manager, then you have the M1s, and then you have the zone managers, and then you have the managers, and then you have the associates, okay? So I was a manager, and there was the store manager, and I would ask her maybe once a month, okay? I wasn't being annoying about it. But obviously this was a bad day to ask this. And she said get back with me in a month. I'll have an answer by then. So I would ask her. She told me to ask her once a month. So I asked her on like maybe the 4th or 5th day of that month, because she was doing a tour. And she was doing a tour with an M1. And she told me that I could either step down or leave. You know, like, because, like, she said that she wasn't going to separate the departments because they were already separated. She just wasn't hiring anyone for it because she was getting more gain by using one associate for all of these departments and not paying that associate for multiple managers' departments. So, not only did she yell at me, and she said that, because she said that she wasn't going to, and she was like, you can either step down or quit. And I said, fine, I'm going to have to step down too, because I am overwhelmed. I am overworked. I am overwhelmed. I can't do this anymore. And she's like, well, you might as well quit because I'm not letting you step down. And I was like, what? And she did this in front of an M1. And the M1 went. And I was like, you don't have the right to not let me step down. She's like, I'm the store manager. You have to listen to me. And I was like, whoa. And the manager that was next to her, she was just, you know, she was trying to be in her own little world, but she had witnessed this. And I was like, oh, okay. So I calmly, I was like, I'm sorry that you feel that way. And she's like, now stop asking me to separate the departments and grow up. Be the manager that you should be. I'm sick of this bull crap. And she actually said the SHIT word. And I was like, dude. And then she started walking. And then the manager who was with her at the time, she had looked at me and she was like, I am so sorry, kind of thing. And I was like, holy F. I was like, this must have been like a horrible day for her, but it's about to get a whole hell of a lot worse. I went back to the back room and I wrote a message. Like, this message was like maybe 2 to 3 pages long to the general manager, HR, everyone in between. I put every manager on this damn message, and I sent it off. What had happened, all of the things that had happened to me in this. And one of the managers who was really nice, he said, I got your message. He's like, I'm really sorry that all of that happened to you. He's like, wow. He's like, I didn't know it was that bad. I knew that they were pulling you everywhere, but I didn't know that it was that bad. And I was like, yeah. He was like, you didn't use a spell check on it, did you? And I was like, no. And he was like, you had a lot of misspelled words on it. But he was like, I have seen some of that stuff, so if you do need a witness, I'm here for you. And I'm like, I appreciate that. And another 2 managers that, like, I had actually told them what, like, some bad stuff had happened, they tried throwing me under the bus like 5 million times. They were really trying to get me fired. The store manager said that, you know, put in your 2 weeks notice because I'm sick of this crap. And I was like, okay. So I put in my 2 weeks notice, and then she waited till the day before my 2 weeks notice, and she told me, she's like, I have a better position for you. And I was like, what? Because she knew that if she'd fired me, she was going to get a lawsuit because she was wrongfully firing me, and multiple people had saw her tell me to put in my 2 weeks notice, because there were associates and it was going all over the damn place. Associates and managers that saw her do this, because she finally got a hold of the message, and the general manager had messaged her because I was told that the general manager had messaged her and he was coming down after his vacation to review this. So, not only did they F me over in multiple things, but they... Okay, so managers, like the M1s, are not allowed to electronically sign anything for associates. But they electronically signed my name over to domestics and, well, to the housewares department after I had been signed up to the hardware department, and that was the only position I hired on as. So they did some huge fudging just to, because they couldn't find anyone for the housewares and domestics and furnishing and furniture. Well, the furniture was incorporated onto hardware because hardware was a smart department and they can get away with putting furniture and hardware together. But that was a separate department. And along with the seasonal housewares and seasonal domestics, that all, I was doing that for months on end. With a supervisor who was taking credit for not only the associates' work, like, I mean, she was saying that she did it herself with some of this stuff. And I was like, no. James did that. You didn't lay a finger to that. You were in McDonald's getting a sweet tea all day long. And I legit said this to them. And they were like, she's like, oh, don't lie and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, why don't you actually look at some of the recordings and see where she actually was? She kept saying that she was in the back room, but she was in McDonald's all flippin' day long. So, not only was that fun, but I had told the truth about lots of different managers using and abusing me while their associates didn't have to do anything but get paychecks. And I was like, I was really sick about this. And the general manager came down after I was threatened that I was going to be fired if I had said anything to him about the bullying that had been done to me by like 4 managers now and the store manager. Because I thought that they were making my life super difficult to begin with. But no, they were legit telling my associates to do things and then trying to get them in trouble so that they would get me in trouble. And I sat there and not only did... Okay, so here's one example. This associate was putting together a mod because I had showed him how to do it and he really enjoyed doing it. He didn't he knew that whenever there was a customer he needed to stop and help and everything. He said that, you know, he felt more fulfilled while he was doing it and he got in the zone and he really enjoyed doing it. And I was like, this is great because it's helping me out a lot. And I was like, and you do it very well. I was like, I know I can rely on you, and if things don't fit right, you come to me immediately, and I change it real quick. And he was like, yeah. He was like, can you show me how to do that? I was like, I would love to, but we don't have that many Geminis at the time. Because if we did have that many Geminis, I would totally have given him a Gemini and a printer, but I was using it for price changes. And I was also borrowing the meat department's printer to do my price changes. So I had like an hour window to get all of my damn price changes done while someone was at lunch in the meat department. Yeah, because I didn't have enough printers. It was flipping stupid. Well, this manager, the jewelry counter manager, she was in charge of jewelry and shoes and whatnot. She said, because she was above me, she could take my associates. And I said, well, you have to actually talk to this person, because I was told that if anyone tried to take one of my associates, you would have to go through them. And so I was trying to redirect her to talk to this person, and she got all lippy with me. And she's like, I need him, and I need him now. And I was like, okay, but I am not allowed to allow you to take him for doing your job unless you talk to this person. And she was like, I don't have to listen to you. And she's yelling at me on the sales floor. This is somebody above me yelling at me in the middle of the sales floor. Wow, there's customers walking by. And we were in the front of the store next to the pharmacy at the time. And he was like, I'll try to get done as fast as I can so I can get back to this mod. And I was like, no, that's not the problem. I was like, I'm getting in trouble for other people taking you because I'm supposed to stand between you and these other people. And I am not honestly standing in front of you because they take you whenever I'm away doing something else. And he was like, well, it's probably not. He's like, you just need something lifted. Or he was like, she's like, I need help doing a mod. And he was like, well, I'm doing a mod here. And she was like, she's like, don't question me. I need your help. I'm above you. I'm above her. You're going to do what I say, and you're going to do it now. And he was like, well, he was like, you don't. And I was like, just it was like, okay. I was like, I'm going to tell this person that you took my associate. And I took out my new notepad at the time, and I wrote down what was going on. And she's like, what the hell are you doing? She's like, are you logging me? And I was like, I have to. And she's like, I'm not liking you very much. And I was like, I'm not going to reply to that. And that was my reply. I'm not going to reply to that. So she goes to take him, and he goes to take back the cart that was there, because he was taking it back anyways, because that's when he had stopped me and said that he was almost finished with the mod. He just needs to fill up the next cart, and then he'll be finished, because he's going along. He's putting like a few what the hell is that called? A few labels up, and then he's filling the product in. That was the way he did it, and I was fine with that because it was getting done and it looked full. So he was doing his thing. Well, he was about to take it back, and she was like, oh no, leave that there. You're not going to need that. He was like, oh, well, I have to put it back. And she's like, no, leave it there. And I said, he's not allowed to leave it there because that is a safety violation. And she's like, don't give me that's a safety violation. You have no authority over me. And I said, it's not authority over you. That's authority for all. Safety violations are a grounds for immediate firing. I was like, unless you're trying to get my associate fired, you let him take it back. And then she goes, she's like, no. And then she takes the cart and she pushes it underneath the shelf to where it's blocking some product and everything, and it's sticking out the other side of the damn shelf. And she's like, it's fine there. And I was like, that's still a safety violation. She's like, we do it all the time. And then she walks off with him, and I go to pull it out because I was going to take it to the back because I could get fired too just by leaving it there. And then she rushes back, wrenches it out of my hand, and shoves it back in. And she says, leave it there. And I was like, I'm going to have to call somebody for this. And she's like, yeah, you go ahead and call somebody. So I did. I called the manager, and the manager, first off, got the story from me. I explained the story, and then I walked back to where the cart was, where she had us leave it, and I said, can I now take the cart? And he was like, yeah, that's a safety violation. It shouldn't have been left here. And I was like, yeah, I know. And I was like, but she said that I had to leave it here, and she said that he had to leave it there. And I was like, and she was putting us in a tight position, and I'm not even supposed to be allowing anyone take the associates away from what they're supposed to be doing. And he was like, wait, what's going on? And then I had to explain that situation too. And he was like, okay, all right. He's like, I have to talk to the store manager. And then the store manager had us both come into the thing, and she was lying off her butt about this thing and saying that she did not. And then she was laughing and joking. She's like, oh, I didn't do that. And I was like, yeah, you did. I was like, do you want to bring in the associate that you took from the apartment? Because he's going to say the same thing. And any of the customers walking by are going to say the same thing too. I'm sure that they could ask a few of them, or even the associate that was in pharmacy, because I'm sure they saw and heard all of that too. But like, she's like, no, that's not, that wouldn't be appropriate. And the store manager's like, hold on, I'm gonna need to talk to you separate. Can you go out in the hall? And I was like, okay. So I sat there for like 5 to 10 minutes while she lied her butt off. And then they said that they were only going to give her a warning this time, and that we didn't need to discuss this any further. So, yeah. I really wanted to send another, because they were gunning for me hard after that email. Because the manager, the store manager, just had this unscathing hatred towards me because what she did to me. And then she got fired. And a new manager got hired on, and she absolutely loved me. But yet those 4 other managers were really trying to get me fired. And they had continued to, what is that called? They prolonged my my evaluation for like 4 to 5 months. They were like, oh, can't do it this time. Oh, can't do it this time. Oh, can't do it this time. And I was like, evaluation? I was like, first I was like, you got a minute? And they're like, oh, yeah, what do you need? I was like, I was like, you want to give me the evaluation now? I was like, it's been 2 weeks, you know, it's been 3 weeks, it's been 5 weeks, it's, you know, after like 4 or 5 months of them pushing my evaluation back, they gave me an evaluation with a 40-cent raise and then fired me immediately after that evaluation. I was like, holy flip. After them trying to see if I was interested in being a supervisor. I was like, holy flip. So a claims associate that was the grandma of, was it the great grandma or the grandma of my niece? She sat there at a football game, my nephew's football game, that I was invited to, and started yelling at me about the backroom associates, that I need to keep them on a better leash and blah blah blah, and because I was second in command in the back room after like 4 months of being in that position. Like, well, actually it was a little more than that, but maybe 5-6 months of being in that position, and 4 months of not having that evaluation. I was like, oh, goody, goody. And she was like, that back room is atrocious. Nobody can get anywhere. You guys have to stop ordering stuff. You got to do, work those pallets. And I was like, I'm just sitting there smiling. And she's like, you think that's funny? And I was like, nope. And she's like, I am sick of, here, like, sitting here and telling people that they need to do this and then they're not doing it. And I was like, yeah, me too. Me too. And she's like, you need to tell them that they actually need to do this because I know that you'll get it done. And I was like, yeah, normally. I was like, but I ain't doing it. And she's like, why? And like my half sister was like, they fired her like 2 weeks ago. And I was like, yeah. I was like, I haven't been working for like 16 days now. 16, 17 days. And she was like, that's why it's so horrible back there. And I was like, I can't account for what's going on back there. But I was fired. I was like, right after my evaluation. She's like, they can't do that. And I was like, I guess I can. Because like I came in 2 days after my evaluation because I had a break, like 2-day break. And I clocked in. And then they, sorry, I was counting. I clocked in and the time clock wouldn't let me in. And so I went to personnel and I was like, I don't know, maybe like there was something wrong with my badge. And he was like, what? He was like, he's like, let me try. So he printed out a new badge, like a new sticker and everything, because mine was kind of worn out a little bit because I'm working hard and everything. And the previous one that I had a piece of tape on it to keep it from like wearing out. But I couldn't find a piece of tape to put on the new one, and it was like kind of worn out. He's like, oh, I'll just print you out a new one. So he went about trying to print out a new one. He was like, that's so weird. And tried to, after we tried to scan it a few times, and he's like, it's probably just worn out, like you were saying. And I was like, yeah, because, there was like kind of missing a little niche of it and everything. And I was like, it shouldn't matter because there's all that barcode that it could scan, but there's like a little niche out of the bottom of it. And he's like, oh, well, we'll just print you out a new one. And then he goes about like typing up, in his name and like, a Talzon he had by the desk and trying to print it out because sometimes they needed it and they kept one in their desk. And he was like, "Well, that's weird." He's like, I can't find you in here." And I was like, and then he goes about on the computer typing in it. He's like, "Wait a minute. It said you were terminated 2 days ago." And I was like, 2 days ago on my day off? And he was like, "Wait, when was your day?" I was like, "I just came back from 2 days off." And he was like, "Well, yeah, it said they terminated you on." And I was like, "Did it say for why?" And it said that I was absent more than 10 days within a 6-month period, which was a breach of the policy and whatnot. I was like, "Wait, what?" And so we counted out my days, and they were trying to say that tardy days were like 3 tardy days were equal to 1, but yet these tardy days were actually not tardy. I was clocking in early. And I was like, "How did that give me a tardy?" And they're like, "Well, if you're clocking out early, sometimes that will give you a tardy." And I was like, I was told to clock out early because I clocked in early. So it would balance it out. And then there were times when I was I had to overwork and whatnot, like overtime. And I was like, how the fuck? And then they had like de-approved some of my vacation time. I was like, wait a minute, what the hell's going on here? Uh, it was a messy thing, but whenever it came down to it, I was only missing 7 days within a 10-month period. After all the calculations were that, but I was still terminated. I was like, this is bullcrap. This is legit bullcrap. And the store manager was conveniently on vacation for 2 weeks. And when I went to go get my 2 weeks vacation, I had called previously and I was told that she was on vacation, but yet she was leading the cheer for that morning announcement. I was like, wow, wow. So that was fun. I'm sure karma's gonna come, but hey. It's like, what can I do? Oh, it's like I don't even want to talk about like flip some of the other crap that happened there. Some of it was just really, really bad. I will never ever work at any of those establishments ever again. Not that one. Not under that name. Flip that. Not even if I'm starving and destitute on the street. And that's the only job available. I'll starve, thank you. I am serious. I will sooner work in a gas station happily than in that establishment. I will work the night shift where people normally get robbed and butchered or whatever versus that establishment. I don't see any stone. I see clay. Alright, I'm gonna dig myself a hole. Oh, hey, look, there's a, how's that called? Portal. I wonder if I've been here. Can always check to see. I have been here. I always stack the items. Weird. Alright, I'm gonna dig a hole. Alright. I'm gonna save and quit. Oh. I gotta go. I overdid it again, and I gotta wee. A skeleton popped out of the closet. So, yeah, bye-bye.